Hey everyone, welcome to our show Timeout. I'm your host Trey Avant with my co-host, my brother Noah Avant. And this is a two-man webcast that discusses sports and entertainment. Before we begin, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe to the Boca Raton Tribune on all social media platforms. Just look for @Boca Tribune on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also follow the show on Instagram at @the_timeout7. Huddle up. It's time for a timeout. All right, Noah, this is what we've been waiting for since the offseason, in a massive blockbuster 14 trade, the Houston Rockets traded James Harden to the Brooklyn Nets. Other moving pieces include Victor Oladipo going to the Rockets, Karis LeVert going to the Pacers, and Jarrett Allen going to the Cavaliers. There were other players involved, so those were the main players. And then several first-round picks also ended up being traded to Houston. What are your thoughts on that trade?
I mean, let's start at the very top of this. James Harden. I understand, and I honestly, I had to wrap my head around this because I really don't have words for this right now. Like I can't say I blame him. You know how he went about that whole I don't want to be here thing, childish, completely unprofessional, and completely childish. Now, granted, he may have been fed up with the Houston Rockets, but let's talk about this. In your years in Houston, you played with Chris Paul, you played with Russell Westbrook. When you played Chris Paul, you played the Warriors. This is the farthest he's gotten. And you went to bed because you couldn't man up and you couldn't win that game for your team. They pay you the big bucks. They brought Chris Paul there to help you out because you were running a point guard this season before that. Right or wrong, Trey?
Correct.
So James Harden now says, there's nothing that I can do. It can't be fixed. It can't be done. What's up with you? Because this is how it's looking. Kyrie Irving, as of now, is not playing with the Nets. He's MIA. Kyrie is Kyrie right now. Stephen A doesn't even know where he is. So now it's just you and KD. And for all we know, Kyrie could be Kyrie. He could have another shoulder injury. He could just not play. He cannot want to play anymore. If they choose to go to a bubble, since everybody's getting COVID, they could choose to go to a bubble format for the playoffs. And what if Kyrie's not there? And it's you and Kevin Durant there. What's your excuse? Because you asked to go to this team. It's not like it was before when he was with the Thunder, he was traded to the Rockets. You asked for two teams in particular. You asked for Philly. You asked for Brooklyn. What do you do when you lose to LeBron in 6 games? What's your excuse now?
It's LeBron.
Oh, it's LeBron. But you're James Harden. See, my problem with James Harden with this whole situation is this. You are not that good for you to be throwing fits and calling out players that's going out there going to war with you every day. Now, I'm not saying, when I say you're not that good, I'm not saying he's not good. James Harden is probably the best scorer in the league right now. Arguably better than Kevin Durant. Arguably better than Giannis. Arguably better than anybody you could put up. He's better than them. But to come out and say, there's nothing more I can do, this relationship can't be fixed. It's your fault it's not working. You can't win.
Well, I don't think any player, whether they're good or not, should do that. Like you said earlier, it's unprofessional. It doesn't matter who you are. You probably do that. It's still unprofessional. You should never do that. No matter you. It doesn't matter if you're a professional athlete, a doctor, a lawyer. It doesn't matter. You work at McDonald's. It doesn't matter. You should never do that. But he did go about it the wrong way. They compare his situation with Jimmy. The thing is, Jimmy did it behind closed doors to his teammates' face. James Harden did it out in the open, publicly, just to the media. He didn't even say it to his teammates' faces. He was just like, hey, like you said, I don't think it could be fixed. I don't think we could beat the Lakers. To be fair, there's really no team in the league right now that could beat the Lakers. Well, now the Nets.
No.
Possibly. Hold on, I'm getting there. Possibly, the Nets, whatever. But the Rockets didn't have a chance beating the Lakers. Come on now. It's presently constructed. He's right. They didn't have a chance to beat the Lakers. But even if they got someone else, like, I don't know, whoever James Harden also wanted, whoever he wanted at the time, chance of them beating the Lakers is kind of slim because the Rockets were at best, maybe like the sixth best team in the West at best. There's still several teams above them, not just the Lakers, So, I mean, he went about it the wrong way. He got his wish getting traded, but it's just going to be interesting to see how Steve Nash works that with KD and Kyrie, and James Harden. And I seen a tweet that said, "Who's going to play that Chris Bosh role?" I mean, it's probably going to be Kyrie since he's the third best player, but it could also be James Harden because he's more of a facilitator than Kyrie is.
Trey.
Yes, sir.
That's a funny tweet. I wish you would have said that to me, so I could have quoted it and laughed in his face or her face. Like, hilarious. You really think these three big-headed guys are going to be Chris Bosh?
One of them has to be Chris Bosh.
And that's why they're not going to beat the Lakers. That's why some people don't see them making it out of the East.
Somebody has to it's not going to work. Them taking that Chris Bosh role, even Chris Bosh had a hard time doing that. When you go from being the top dog to being the third best player on a team, that's hard for any player to adjust to. And it takes more than a season. That's the reason the Heat lost in 2011. It wasn't just Chris Bosh's fault, but it was other people's faults.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Chris Bosh has trouble adjusting, but then eventually he got over that.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Love had problems adjusting to being a third guy. Pretty much that whole stint with LeBron and Kyrie was there. Kevin Love struggled being the third guy. Yeah. It's easy being a third guy unless you like the Warriors with like Clay. Clay was easy. It was easy for Clay to be a third guy because all he had to do was keep doing what he was doing, get open, shoot the ball. So, but obviously James Harden, KD, and Kyrie could do a lot more than that. So it's gonna be interesting to see.
The problem with that whole situation is this: the Nets have three guys that are ball dominant. You have three chefs in one kitchen with one stove, one refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? Like one set of knives, one spoon, one oven. You have one of each. These guys are used to scoring at least 20 to 30 points a game. This is going to be hard for them to adjust. The thing that is going to hold them back will be egos. And that's all it is. Are the three of these men great enough to beat LeBron James and Anthony Davis? Absolutely. In a utopian world, they are great enough to beat LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But this is not a utopian world. We live in a world with problems and conflict. And with that being said, three guys that are used to scoring 20 points, three guys that are used to be in the face. Like you said, Chris Bosh had a hard time adjusting. And if we're being honest, Chris Bosh offensively doesn't hold a candle to any three of these guys. So, yeah, good luck. And I feel bad for the Nets more so than anything because they shot themselves in the foot yet again with another big trade. This time the players are a little bit younger. Remember when they traded all of those picks? I think it was Boston. Yeah. And they ended up getting Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown off of those picks.
They folded. But this is better. Because James Harden is a lot better than Paul Pierce and KG and all them boys.
Yeah, but he is better. Yes, talent-wise, he is better. but is his effect going to get them what they want? Because at the end of the day, you could have had Michael Jordan in this trade, prime Jordan. If y'all don't win and you traded away your future for the next couple years, you shot yourself in the foot. Because I guarantee you, if they aren't winning or they don't get a ring before their contracts go out, James Harden is gone, KD is gone, and Kyrie is definitely out of there.
I agree.
And you traded Karis LeVert. You traded Karis LeVert. You traded Jared Allen. You're two young, promising talents. You trade one to Houston. No, he went to. They traded him to Indiana.
They traded LeVert to Indiana.
And they traded Jared Allen for nickels to the Cavaliers.
The Cavaliers traded nothing and got Jared Allen. It's crazy.
Nickels. Literally, they said, "Oh, here's some change in here somewhere. I got you. I'll trade you this. I'll trade you this for Jared Allen." And
they won the trade.
Bro, what? Now you have Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, you have Larry Nance Jr., and you have Jared Allen in your starting five.
And they still have Andre Drummond and Kevin Love.
I guess.
I mean, they don't disrespect Kevin Love.
I'm disrespecting Kevin Love. I'm definitely starting Jared Allen over Kevin Love every day.
Wow. I mean,
his defense?
I mean, yeah. His offense? Listen, they're completely different players. They're completely opposite players. When you look at them, they're completely opposite.
But you have Darius Garland and Colin Sexton for offense. And you have Kevin Porter Jr.
Kevin Porter Jr. is like, he's not even playing with them.
He got traded?
No, he didn't get traded. He just, he has legal issues.
He'll be all right. He gonna come back. Hopefully he don't OJ Mayo, but we gonna see.
But I mean, what I was gonna say, we got to see how the Nets play. Obviously, like I said, like the Heat to me are a team to beat because they made it to the championship. They're a team to beat.
Trey, let's not be.
Hold on now. Okay. They're in the East, they're the team to beat. I mean, they're not the Celtics. The Heat already beat the Celtics. It's not the Bucks. The Heat already beat them. It's not the Pacers. The Heat already beat them.
We lost to the Sixers. Huh? We lost to the Sixers.
Hold on now. We played the Sixers with G Leaguers.
We lost to the Sixers.
We played it with G Leaguers, and they had Embiid and Simmons. But that's besides the point. We're not talking about that.
Okay.
With the Nets, we have yet to see them play. With this new roster and at full health. I mean, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant played 4 games together before COVID kicked in, and then Kyrie decided to take to pay time off. So, I mean, they barely played together, and then you throw James Harden in there, and now we got to see how they play. James Harden got to get back into shape and stuff, which he'll be fine. About a month or so, he'll be all right. Do you think they'll trade Kyrie if things get off to a slow start?
I feel like it'd be a KD decision. Kevin Durant would be the reason why he moved, just like KD's the reason why Kyrie's there, and Kevin Durant's the reason why James Harden is there.
You seen the report that said Kyrie is growing distant from KD?
Hey, look.
I mean, if their friendship is starting to, dwindle, then Kyrie could be on the move. If they're not trading KD.
No. And I feel like Kyrie's doing this or did this so that way he would not be included into a trade package that was sending him somewhere that he probably did not want to go.
That tweet you sent me. He's like, hey, I'm just gonna sabotage the trade value. Hey, you gonna come back? All right, I'm good to go.
I mean, is that not a smart thing to do?
It's a very smart decision. I don't know if he. I don't really know him, so I don't know his intelligence. But that'll be a very smart thing to do.
I mean,
he did that on purpose, but I don't think he did.
I mean, he could. I mean, speaking of guys that got traded, he don't want to be like Victor. Victor doesn't want to play in Houston.
Allegedly, yes. He doesn't want to. He wants to play for the Heat.
I mean, the Houston Rockets have not announced that he's on their team yet. I have yet to see the tweet saying we have acquired Victor Oladipo via trade. And more so, that trade for them is not helping their offense at all because they have no shooters.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much the same.
It is a strict 2-3 defense if I'm playing the Rockets. Yeah, John Wall might hit a couple, Boogie might hit a couple. Yeah, that's cute. I'm living with that.
Yeah, their team is pretty much the same. I mean, they don't have James Harden, but like, I mean, they got Victor Oladipo. Their team is practically going to be the same. You know, they're what they have a losing record right now. They're not going to get much better. I mean, Christian Wood is playing good. Victor Oladipo is going to play good. John Wall, you know, he's going to play good. I mean, that's about it.
Doing good. I mean, the Rockets are not a bad team. I don't see why James Harden wasn't happy, but I mean, if he wants his ring so bad,
he's right though. They were as presently constructed. They weren't going to compete for anything.
I feel like that team could at least made it to the semis.
That team was not making it to the semifinals.
They had made it to the semis, definitely.
They would not. Like no.
How it's set up now, I think they probably would have played like what? The Nuggets?
They wouldn't have home court advantage. And so they did. If they made a playoff, they'd be at the lower seeds.
They probably been like 60. I think they're 6 in the West right now.
They would have to. I don't think they're 6 in the West. I think they have a losing record. I think. Check. Like they would have to play like the Lakers or the Clippers or the Nuggets, one of those teams, Mavericks. You know, they would have to play one of those good teams. I'm looking right now, see what their record is exactly.
I'm looking myself. So
in the Western Conference, they are. Oh my gosh, 14th. You're 3-6.
Oh, I thought they were higher up than they were. Oops.
I told you they were trash, bro. They're not winning anything.
Hey man, it is what it is, I guess.
Like they weren't. They have good players on their team on paper.
Yeah, but when it comes to
when it comes to them actually playing, they're not good.
Okay, but look at Brad Beal. Brad Beal's not out here complaining. He dropped 60 points and lost by 10.
Bro, he does complain, bro. He's like, because he has something to complain about. He said we can't guard a Park hard, which is true. They suck.
Okay, but you don't hear him at press conferences saying
because he's not that type of guy.
But that's what I'm saying. And in my opinion, low key. I mean, James Harden's a better scorer, but overall, I take Brad Beal.
Bradley Beal's not better than James Harden, bro.
Overall, I take Brad Beal over James Harden. Absolutely.
Bradley Beal just got better than John Wall like 2 years ago.
Bro. Yeah, it's valid. I mean, but John Wall was John. You can't compare that. You can't compare them two because John Wall was a whole different beast when he came out of Kentucky. John Wall was a different beast when he came out of Word of God at Raleigh. Let's be honest. Let's really call it what it is.
Okay, yeah, but I'm saying, so are you trying to say that John Wall his prime is better than James Harden?
Bruh.
Say it. Go ahead.
James Harden shoots better.
Bro.
Defensively, you are not going to sit up here and tell me he's better than John Wall.
I mean, yeah, John Wall's better than him defensively, but I'm talking about the overall package.
Facilitating better. You want John Wall or you want James Harden to facilitate your offense? Because they both play point guard. They both play the point guard spot. Who do you want?
When James Harden played point guard that one season before Chris Paul got there, he led the league in assists.
Man, because he did.
He did not. We can look it up right now.
Right. I'll look it up after the show.
All right, then.
Y'all tune in. I will admit if I'm wrong tomorrow on our Instagram. Be sure to follow us. But I am telling you, Trey, you, sir, are wilding if you are taking John Wall, prime John Wall, over James Harden. You're crazy.
I'm not wilding. I said I want James Harden over John Wall.
John Wall's better than him.
What are you saying? I said I want James Harden over John Wall, but you're telling me I said I want John Wall over James Harden. But you want John Wall over James Harden, correct?
Yeah, because he's better.
So why did you say I want John Wall over James Harden? Because I'm not agreeing with you.
You sound crazy. I wanted to reset. I wanted to say it again so you can hear what I was saying. So you can.
But that's your own point. That's your own point that you're turning back on yourself. I'm saying James Harden has always been a better player,
and he's not. John Wall. He's not. He himself finally got better than John Wall recently.
Wow, crazy.
John Wall's better than. If we're being truly honest with ourselves, Russell Westbrook's better than James Harden.
All right, moving on.
Russell, no, we're not moving on.
That is a horrible take. We need to make a. I'm about to put a tweet poll.
Trey,
like, who's
are you telling me you don't want Russell Westbrook, a man who averaged a triple double? He's going to get 10 rebounds, 30 assists, just about.
James Harden can't do the same thing.
No, he cannot.
He's done it multiple times. He's done it several times.
When James Harden when you want to make James Harden on 2K, you just up everything up on offense, playmaking, shooting, finishing. But on defense, you leave that perimeter defense on 25.
I'm definitely gonna make a poll and ask who's better, James Harden or Russell Westbrook.
And everybody's going to say Russell Westbrook.
You want to do it now, or you want to do it in a prime?
Bro, you want to do prime Russell Westbrook when he just about carried the whole Thunder to the playoffs?
Either way, the result is to say you want which one do you want?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I'm just going to put it straight up.
A better basketball player than James Harden. I don't care.
Okay. All right then.
We can do that. We can do that. Absolutely.
All right then. I'm gonna tweet it later.
Please do.
And then I'm gonna come back with the results. I'm gonna screenshot it and I'm gonna show the audience next week.
No. Put it on it. I'll upload it on the Instagram. Make sure y'all follow the Instagram, _timeout7. We'll be sure to post all of the results tomorrow. But I am telling you, the viewers at home, all of them, will agree Russell Westbrook is better than James Harden. The only thing that James Harden can do better than Russell Westbrook is put the ball in the basket. That is it. You're not going to pick him for defense. You really don't want him as a team player. You're not going to as somebody else that you can really depend on. He is strictly offense. Okay. I said it. But I think we got a commercial, Trey.
I think we do, actually. Yes, we definitely need to stop talking about that. You are watching Timeout with the Avant Bros. If you enjoy this show, please click the share button to share the stream with all your friends. Also, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Boca Raton Tribune on all social media platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just look for @Boca Tribune. You can also follow the show on Instagram at @the_timeout7. See you soon.
Information. If it exists in writing, we print it. If it exists online, we update it. If it exists on mobile, we notify. If it exists in video, we show it. If it exists in audio, we play it. In the past, the news had to wait for a paper to print for it to happen. Today, news happens in real time. It's analyzed, edited, and published immediately by us, your neighbors, and of course, you. Wherever you are, you write, edit, give opinions, share photos, and make the news happen. This is why a paper needs to be on print, on screen, and on your phone. Wherever you are, your news has its pulse in the community. The Boca Raton Tribune. We are much more than just a newspaper. We are your closest neighbor.
Welcome back, everyone. Moving on to the NFL. The Titans, Steelers, Colts, Seahawks, Bears, and football team were all eliminated from the playoffs. The Chiefs will now face the Browns. The Bills will face the Ravens. The Packers will face the Rams, and the Saints will face the Buccaneers in the next round. What are your thoughts?
I got the Chiefs, of course, gonna probably wash the Browns. They did what they needed them to do. I mean, we all know how I feel about the Pittsburgh Steelers, my former football team, favorite football team. I Corvette. That was a great thing. I'm interested to see how the Lamar's gonna play this weekend. It's supposed to be pretty cold up there. So I'm a little nervous because I really want them to beat the Bills. I personally could see the Chiefs and the Ravens playing. I think Lamar really has the ability to get them there, but
That's a conference championship game that we've been waiting for like 2 years now.
you see what I'm saying? Right. What you think about the NFC? Who you got coming out of there?
Man, those are tough matchups, man. Like this is gonna be
That's why I left that one to you. I left that one for you.
Drew Brees and Tom Brady. This is gonna be their last matchup. Most likely, Drew Brees are already thinking about retirement. Allegedly, apparently, he has a job already set up at NBC.
Really?
So, yeah, so he's probably gonna retire, win or lose. You know. So, Tom Brady, the GOAT, 40 touchdowns. He's 43 years old. It's tough, honestly. Like both teams, Saints and Buccaneers are evenly matched squads. But I'm gonna have to go with the Saints on this one. I don't know. It's
The
tough.
thing about it is just like, Drew Brees, like you said, this is his last year. He's giving it all he's got. And I feel like it might just be enough to beat Tom.
It's tough, man. It's really tough with those teams.
Alvin's got to play. Alvin has got to play.
Alvin's gonna play, but the Buccaneers have a good run defense. Like they good, but I mean Alvin Kamara's another level. So I mean
that's why I say like, he's got to be the guy that everybody's scared of.
And you got to see what Mike Thomas can do.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, if I have to choose a team that's gonna win, I'd probably say the Saints. I'll give it to the Saints. With the Packers and Rams, I would go with the Packers, but like Devontae Adams is gonna be taken out of the game immediately. Jalen Ramsey gonna be on him. It's gonna be wraps. Like Jalen Ramsey has gone up against the best receiver. I've seen his stats. He's gone up against the best receivers in the league this year, and he's the most yards he's given up was like 40-something yards, 60-something or 40-something yards, and that was week 1. He's blocked down every receiver he's played against. Now I know he's not the type of guy who get interceptions like Xavier Howard, but he's the type of guy who would take a receiver completely out of the game plan, and I think he's gonna do it to Devontae Parker. I mean, not Devontae Parker, Devontae Adams. And other than Devontae Adams, they don't really have any like noticeable receiving threats. They have Aaron Jones on the ground. But, I mean,
I don't know.
and then the Rams got Aaron Donald too. So I don't know. But then the Packers got Aaron Rodgers, and you can never count out Aaron Rodgers.
My thing with the Packers is this: I know Ramsey is good. He's very talented DB, but Devontae Adams' footwork made Chad Ochocinco cry. Like, bro, you gotta take that into account. Like, this is probably one of the best receivers ever. And he's like, this man route running was like, he was in tears, bro. Like, that man, Devontae is a problem. And I really feel like he might be one receiver that's going to give Jalen a run for his money.
Jalen Ramsey has done crazy things this year. He's locked down. Bro, he played DK Metcalf last week.
Okay, well, let's talk about DK.
Completely took him out of the game plan.
Okay, let's talk about DK, though. Let's talk about DK. The DK situation. He locked down DK, but let's not forget that Russell Wilson was literally under fire the whole game. He could not sit in the pocket like he normally would. It had a time to get him the ball because whenever he did had a time to improvise, they scored. And it was DK who scored the touchdown.
I guess.
So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. They're playing a much better offensive line than they did last week. And you're playing a very, very savvy quarterback in Aaron Rodgers.
Like I said, I'm giving the Packers the win. because he doesn't have to throw the ball to Devontae Adams. I mean, Jalen Ramsey's one guy; he can throw the ball anywhere he wants.
Exactly. And
But
Jared Goff's thumb is not how it should be. I know it is not the best right now.
yeah, wait, he broke it, right? It takes more than 2 weeks to recover from broken thumb.
And where he played on it is no telling. He's been hit. He got hit a couple of times. Ain't no telling how that thumb really feels. So it's going to be interesting to see how they come out there and play in game plan this week. I'm very interested to see how this weekend goes.
Yeah, but moving on. Reports came out that certain Dolphins players are not too enamored with Tua Tagovailoa's potential in his rookie year. What are your thoughts on that? Wait, hold on. Before you get your thoughts on it, they basically said he's a nice guy, he's a good kid, good leader, he's accurate, but does he really have the arm strength to really push the ball down the field? Like, is he going to be a superstar player? That's basically what they said. Well, anonymously said. What are your thoughts?
I mean, Trey, I told you about why they feel this way. I mean, he had a good year, but let's not forget he was sacked a lot this year due to our offensive line's inability to protect him at times. I mean, I'm not saying we need to draft a lineman. We're not talking about that. We're talking about Tua. Tua has the potential to be the guy that we need him to be in Miami. However, we also could get Deshaun Watson, who came out recently this week and said if he wanted to go anywhere, he said the Dolphins. Now, granted, when more news broke on what he was saying, it was other teams included in this list, but the Miami Dolphins were the ones that were the name that everybody wanted to run with. And it makes sense. We have the draft picks. We have really everything they need to rebuild that team. And I like Tua. I really do. But I'd be lying if I didn't say I would prefer Deshaun Watson. And then considering the free agents we're more than likely going to sign this offseason.
I agree with you.
It's more so, do I want to win now? Or do I want to win now but take a couple L's because my quarterback has growing pains? Because this is his sophomore slump. This is where the sophomore slump usually comes in at. So,
I mean, like I said in previous episodes, I like Tua. I think he will be a great quarterback in the league. This is his rookie year. He got outplayed by Ryan Fitzpatrick. This is his rookie year. People compare him to Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. They had better rookie years, but they had, more weapons, better weapons. You know what I'm saying? The Dolphins are obviously a better team, but the Dolphins were a better team overall. They had better defense and stuff. Mm-hmm. But Tua, at his rookie year, he was a game manager. He wasn't a guy who was going to win you the game. He wasn't a guy who was going to lose you the game. He was a guy who relied a lot on his defense and his run game. Put the Dolphins in the lead, and he was not going to throw any interceptions. He wasn't going to fumble. He was just going to make sure everything goes right. Fitzpatrick was like, hey, I'm going to win this game or I'm going to lose this game. Whatever happens, happens. I don't care. I'm going to do what I got to do. But, Deshaun Watson, he's a more proven commodity. Like, I agree with you. If the Dolphins have the facilities to get Deshaun Watson, do it. Obviously don't give up don't give up too much. But if you can get Deshaun Watson, do it. He's already a proven quarterback and he's 25 years old. You do it. You do that type of trade. A quarterback like him doesn't become available often. If he wants to come to Miami, you do the trade and don't look back. If Tua becomes an all-star, if Tua becomes a Pro Bowler, great. It's good for him. It's good for Houston. Deshaun Watson, well, if he stays healthy, he'd be a Pro Bowler and maybe a champion for Miami. Either way, it's a win-win situation. But with the Dolphins, if they do the trade, they win. If they don't do the trade, they still win because then they could build around Tua perfectly. Get all the weapons he needs, and then he would have no excuses. Either way, the Dolphins win, regardless.
Well, he still has an excuse if his offensive line is still subpar.
I mean, like I said, we have draft picks and you have cap space. We could do whatever we want. We could sign whoever. We could draft whoever. Like I said, if we keep everything, we most likely make the improvements needed to be a better football team.
I
If
agree.
we're not going to go into next season with a trash offensive line. We're obviously going to get better.
Yeah, that's the hope. Because I mean, you can't even if we get Watson. If Watson gets sacked 20 times this year, that'd
be great. 20
that's
times.
Not
20 times is great
for a season, but not in 10 games.
But he's not going to play 10 games if he came to the Dolphins. He'd be playing like 17.
I guess. And he's a mobile quarterback, so it goes back to what I was saying before about with Fields. But moving forward, Urban Meyer is in advanced talks with signing a contract to be the new head coach in Jacksonville.
Yes, he would be the first head coach hire of the, I guess, off season. Even though whatever. It's the off season for the loser teams. He's the first head coach hire coming out of retirement. I mean, that would be a great hire for them. He's a great coach. They need to breathe some life into that team and that fan base. And it's not like the Jaguars are complete trash. Like, they have talent. Like, when you look at their roster, on paper, they're actually a pretty decent team on paper,
Especially when you add either Fields or Lawrence. Can't get mad at that.
Yeah, they have some a couple good offense players. James Robinson had a great rookie year. They have DJ Chark, a good receiver. They have some solid receivers, a solid defense. It's just the coaching wasn't great.
They might even
their offensive line is complete garbage.
Right. But they might even add AR this year too. I mean,
it's possible he could come back because he started his career with Jacksonville. He could always come back. Who knows?
I mean, that team is not bad. They're really not a bad team, but I mean, it's really just a sense of like what he does with the keys of the car.
I agree with you.
Other than that, it is what it is. Alabama won this week. Future Dolphin, Devontae Smith. He broke a record. What is it? 12 receptions, 215 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that was the most ever in a half. I mean, he would have put a bigger number if he actually played the whole game, but he hurt his finger.
Yeah, I mean, even Waddle came in and showed out. I mean,
Waddle had one catch of 15 yards, and then everybody was like, take him out of the game. That's all he needed.
You seen him limping. He just wanted to show that, hey guys, I still got it, even with a hurt ankle. And he was moving when he caught that ball.
Oh, he was moving.
So his draft stock probably went up a little bit. I mean, they're probably a little wary of his ankle, but
yeah, you seen that he still got it. So
hey, if he got it with a hurt ankle, I would love to see him healthy. Preferably in a Dolphins uniform, healthy. we can swing to both of those guys. University of Alabama, Miami Gardens. I like it.
Mm-hmm. But we're going out of bounds real quick. What are your thoughts on a potential GTA 5 sequel, namely GTA 6?
Well, there's rumors and speculations that they will have their first woman protagonist. They haven't disclosed much about such character, nor have they discussed much about the actual storyline of the game. There has been a lot of rumors and leaks, but when it comes to regards of that game, Rockstar's been very tight-lipped. I've actually sat in on a couple of like their investment calls, and a couple of investments is like, okay, where's GTA 6? Like, do we have a timeline on this? Do we like a trailer we could possibly drop? Maybe a screenshot of gameplay, anything. And nothing really, and Rockstar has really not had anything released out there. And I imagine it's really tight-lipped. With the capabilities of these next-gen consoles, I'd imagine it's a lot that they can do. The PS5 version 4, GTA 5, actually releases next week, a week from today, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like us gamers, we can kind of get a taste, if you will, a very small smidgen of a taste of what GTA 6 could be, because this game has the PS5 and the Xbox Series X has such capabilities that, you really don't know. You know, like with the PlayStation, you have motion sense technology in it, and with your Xbox, it can turn into a hookah. So I mean, seriously, on a serious note, like it truly could do anything. So it's going to be very interesting to see what next could come. I mean, Trey, have you played GTA much?
Yeah,
It's been out since you've been in middle school, so
yeah, I still play it. Still play it pretty frequently. I know with GTA 6, like you said, the first women protagonist could be coming. I heard rumors of it being in Vice City, the setting. I heard rumors of it being in 3 different cities: Los Santos, Liberty City, and Vice City, and you could travel via plane. I heard that. Who knows at this point? Like you said, Rockstar is very tight-lipped about it. They're not going to say anything because that's similar to how it was with GTA 5. You know, they're not going to say anything until they're ready. Um, but you know, people are very excited. We're tired of playing GTA 5.
yeah, I mean, but like that, even in that call, like when they asked it, like we're only like 60% done. I'm like, yo, I've been working on this game since 2013. But then again, they said it was they had to come up with Red Dead, so they're working on Red Dead. Then they had to work on new updates for the PS5, these other expansion things. So like they've done a lot. They've been doing a lot in the meantime. It's not like they're sitting on their laurels, but we need it. We need more.
Yeah, but it's about that time, folks. It's hot take time.
Uh-oh.
And my hot take of today is I believe the Orlando Magic will tank for Cade Cunningham or Evan Mobley or Jalen Suggs, whoever takes the number 1 pick. But right now, Cade Cunningham is the projected number 1 pick. And I believe the Magic will tank for him because Mo Bamba's hurt, Jonathan Isaac's hurt, Markelle Fultz is hurt. They would get a good return if they trade Aaron Gordon and Nikola Vucevic. They would get a good return for those guys if they trade them right now and just go full on tank mode. Isaac and Bamba and Fultz will come back from injury next year. And then now they have a completely young core. They can get Cade Cunningham. They can get, they already have Cole Anthony. You know, everything works out. You know, they can maybe trade Evan Fournier and Terrence Ross as well, get picks for those guys as well. You know, and they'd have 3 point guards with Cade Cunningham, Markelle Fultz, and Cole Anthony. But Cade Cunningham's 6'7". He can play small forward. You know, Cole Anthony, Markelle Fultz, and Cade Cunningham 1 through 3. That's a nice lineup.
Yeah, but you want Cade Cunningham guarding LeBron?
Bro, who can really guard LeBron, especially a rookie?
Okay, do you want Cade Cunningham guarding Jimmy Butler or KD 4 games or Giannis 3 games?
We gotta see how he plays in the NBA. The man's still in college. Calm down.
I'm just asking, man. Hey, look, that's cool. But my hot take is that the Miami Heat will trade not only for Victor Oladipo, but PJ Tucker. I feel like PJ Tucker would be a good addition. He's one of those guys who not only can guard in the post, he can guard in the perimeter. When we are making that playoff push, and we do have to see the Nets or the Celtics, we have another perimeter defender that really can go either or on defense. And then you have Victor Oladipo, who also helps us at the top. And we don't have to rely on Tyler Hero being our point guard. Not that Tyler's doing bad at point guard Tyler, but I do feel like it'd be better for him to learn at practice, not so much throwing him out of the game and say, hey, man, do what you can do. More than likely, we'll have to lose Duncan Robinson just because that's somebody that Houston wanted initially in the James Harden trade and along with other people. And we'd have to see. I believe that Victor Oladipo cannot be traded until March 4th. The trade deadline is March 25th, and we will have to play it by ear from there, Heat fans. But I believe this is all we have for today. Thank you guys for watching the Timeout.
Follow and subscribe to the Boca Raton Tribune on all social media platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just look for @Boca Tribune. You can also follow the show on Instagram @the_timeout7. Don't forget to look out for that poll and the results.
It's going to the gram. It's going to the gram.
So make sure you follow the Instagram. Follow me on my personal Twitter @TreyAvon3. Noah.
You can follow me at ArcBuilder Noah on Instagram, and you can follow me at WhoBuiltArc on Twitter.
Timeout airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. As always, this is the Avant Bros signing off.
Russell Westbrook is better than James Harden. Have a good weekend. Bye.
We'll see.
Ah!